It's the scream that started a music legend. Hi, this is John Robinson, and welcome to Nite Muse Media Fireside Stories. Tonight's story begins in the mid-'70s, in the era when funk ruled the airwaves, and the Ohio Players were riding high on the charts with Love Rollercoaster back in 1975. The song perfectly captures the dizzying rush of romance as depicted by a roller coaster ride. But buried inside that groove, there's something strange going on. Right before the musical breakdown, all around 2.5 minutes into the song, something unexpected is heard in the background, which just happens to be a scream. A scream that, it sounds pretty real, like somebody's actually getting hurt. And for decades, listeners leaned a little bit closer to their speakers and wondered the same question. Was someone actually screaming in terror during the recording of that song? And if so, why was it left in? Why was it left in the mix? Not long after Love Roller Coaster climbed the charts, rumors began circulating. People played the song for friends and pointed to that moment. Did you hear that? Did you hear that scream? It didn't sound like a performance. It sounded like somebody really screaming in terror and panic. And within a few years, one of the most bizarre urban legends in music history began to take shape. The most widely repeated tale centered on Esther Cordet, the woman featured on the album cover. She's posed with honey dripping across her body, but the rumor mill had a darker version. According to the legend, the honey that was used during the album cover shoot had been heated too much. It was way too hot. And the story says that she was badly burned during the process. And when she threatened legal action against the band, that's when she confronted somebody connected to the production during a studio session, maybe a manager or producer. An argument followed, and she was stabbed. That's the legend anyway. And so the scream that you hear in Love Roller Coaster was supposed to be her final cry of terror as she was getting murdered. And according to the legend, the band either, didn't notice or they chose not to remove it. And so the scream stayed in the song. And then there's a second version of the story. This one claimed that during a late-night recording session, a cleaning woman accidentally wandered into the studio. She interrupted the session, an argument followed, and once again, the story ends the same way. She gets killed. And with these legends, people everywhere were buying the song. They were replaying the song. They were listening for that eerie moment when that scream permeated in the background. And if you do listen carefully, you'll hear it. Years later, the drummer for the Ohio Players addressed this rumor, and according to him, the scream came from keyboardist Billy Beck, not a murder victim. During the recording session, Beck let out the scream deliberately and to make it sound like somebody was screaming on the roller coaster ride, as people do, as you know, when you ride a roller coaster. In other words, the scream was exactly what it sounded like, somebody on a roller coaster. When asked why the band didn't immediately shut down the rumors of somebody being killed, they said, we didn't say anything because it helps sell records. People love a mystery. And that is how a single second of music became one of the strangest legends in rock and funk history. This is John Robinson with Nite Muse Media Fireside Stories.